much. Security concerns over a popular new app are causing some users to think twice before downloading it. Clubhouse.
If you like a lot of privacy issues in your startup, join Clubhouse. Fine, it doesn't fit the tune and most of you don't remember that chocolate bar, but we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to privacy and Clubhouse. Let's jump straight into it. Problem 1, app permissions. Well, let's start at the top. First thing you need to do is download the app. Now, Apple's Nutritional data shows us that when you install Clubhouse, you have to give them access to your microphone, your contacts book, your phone number, and your phone ID. Basically the same permissions you give 99% of social networks these days. Problem 2, invites. In order to actually create your account, you need to be invited in by someone who's already on the platform. They say this is to steady growth rate while they're still in beta, but to me it just looks like the same marketing strategy Cartman used on his theme park.
Alright, listen up people. Cartman Land is open, but only to 2 people each day.
I don't know how many people have bought an invite for 150 quid. However, it is cheaper than going outside and forming a long-lasting relationship with another human being. And there's free postage. It feels like they're leaning into people's toxic relationship with fear of missing out and hoping that by being part of an exclusive club is enough of a plus point for people to either ignore or lower their standards in privacy. They're not the first to manufacture scarcity in order to gain buzz. Gmail and Facebook did similar things when they got started. On your profile, it shows people who invited you to the app forever, or for at least right now. Sounds like the vows at a shotgun wedding. So hopefully it's somebody you like, or at the very least somebody you don't think's done any shady shit. Because in a world of cancel culture by association, if something comes out, your profile is only 1 click away. Of course, some people you should never accept an invite from. So you've got the app, an invite, and you've signed up. What's next? Well, of course, you're going to want to invite some friends, because otherwise nobody will be listening to your broadcast. And if you wanted to put audio on the internet that nobody was going to listen to, you'd just start a podcast. Problem 3, contacts. You can only add people whose number you have saved in your phone, which means it associates every new user with a phone number. Now, of course, you can save a new number in your phone and send them an invite, which is probably how all of the eBay users are doing it. I wouldn't know. Functionally, this does help you find your friends and other people to follow. However, when you give Clubhouse access to your entire contacts book, it saves that to its servers. This means that everyone on Clubhouse has given away their friends, family, and enemies' telephone number to Clubhouse without checking with any of them. I'm not sure how that conversation would go, even if they did want to check how their contacts felt about this. Yeah, hi, look, I know we've not spoken in 5 years, but I don't want to delete your number. However, I do want to join Clubhouse on the off chance I can ask Chris Rock about his thoughts on Syria. The invite tab refreshes each time you load the page, which means if you add a number between visits, Clubhouse is going to take that data. Currently, it only takes their telephone number, but it also has access to their name and address. I'm starting to think their logo is you waving goodbye to your privacy rights. This is all a purposeful choice on the part of Clubhouse. Referral links exist for a reason, and other apps like Signal use a contact discovery portal, which means they don't have permanent access to your contact book. Oh, and in case you were thinking, but they're just a startup, it will take them years to develop a similar, let me stop you there. That protocol is free, open source, and on GitHub right now. There's also no mention of this data being encrypted, which means that your contacts book is much like Schrodinger's cat. It might be encrypted, it might not. The only way to find out is to hack into Clubhouse's server. Or get a job there. They are hiring after all. Back-end engineer? Sounds like a job more suited to Pornhub. Giving Clubhouse constant access to your contacts is a sore spot for a lot of users. I don't know about you, but I've not deleted a number in over a decade. I've got friends I've lost, grandparents who've died, and a lot of women from the Bumble family whose numbers I only keep around so I don't answer their call. Clubhouse gathers information from people who have never joined the app from existing users, much like Facebook does with its shadow profiles, which is a topic I'll save for another video. One privacy issue at a time, please. You've joined the app, you've invited your friends, now what? Well, of course, you're going to want to pimp out your profile. Problem 4, profiles. This is going to be a short section as there are no privacy options on profiles, meaning everything you put on your account is there for all to see, which is going to be a big problem for members of marginalised groups who are often victims of online bullying or harassment. Oh, and they make you use your real name. I believe it was Shakespeare who said,
but what is in a name?
as he called out his muse's name while he was having sex with his wife. I'll tell you what's in a name: a deep sense of personal connection to who you are. William. Although Clubhouse insists you use your real name, it doesn't actually enforce it, meaning it's the modern day equivalent of a 2005 porn site asking, "Are you over 18?" A lot of people have one phone for everything. And there's been reports of sex workers having clients add them on Clubhouse, employees having their boss find out their interests, and hate speech being thrown around on the platform. Not that you'd get that from the news or any influencers. They're all too busy simping over Elon Musk or saying what an amazing networking tool it is. Not every social network needs your real name.
Once more for the people at the back.
Not every social network needs your real name. In fact, on most social networks, it would be beneficial to have a fake name or an online alias. And to their credit, Clubhouse have added a feature that allows you to add an online alias. However, they do put it next to your actual name, making it about as much use as me walking around in a t-shirt that says, "I am not Simon Kane." In case you're wondering, Chernobyl is actually the nickname for my penis, because no women have been near it since 1986. Trolls have reported people on other social networks for using a fake name, and I can see that happening here. Not everyone wants to use their real name on a social network due to their job, like if you're a teacher or a sex worker or a sex ed teacher. But don't worry about that. It's time for you and your friends to get a room. Problem 5. Rooms. Rooms are audio-only spaces where up to 5,000 users at a time can get together and discuss a range of subjects, from pitching your business, to learning how to pitch your business, to learning how to teach others how to pitch their business. It's a very diverse audience on this app. Clubhouse say that muted mics and the mics of the audience are never recorded. The audio from rooms is collected but then deleted after the room is over, unless they have a report of harassment or abuse which goes against their trust and safety guidelines. Then they keep the recording for as long as is necessary to investigate the report, which I guess makes sense. This isn't the 1970s when police helped burn evidence whenever there'd been a murder. They say they're encrypting the audio recordings but fall short of telling us how, which means we just have to take their word for it, which I'm absolutely happy to do. So let's move on and talk about blocking. Problem 6. Blocking. Blocking is anonymous. Sort of. If someone in your network blocks someone else, to you they'll appear with an exclamation mark over their face. Unless of course they already had an exclamation mark over their face, at which point they'll just show you a picture of Richard Madeley. This foolproof system only has one tiny issue. If, because we're in a pandemic, I block Sneezy and Dopey's in my network, Dopey can see that somebody has blocked Sneezy. But if I'm the only person in both Sneezy and Dopey's network, which is pretty fucking likely given you have to invite people to the app at the moment, it's bloody obvious I blocked Sneezy because his sinuses weren't blocked. And you know Dopey can't keep a secret. He'll grass me up to Snow White before you can say bad apples and boom! There goes my chance of living happily ever after. Problem 7. Security. Clubhouse say they can't control the actions of people on their app, which means that if someone does record a conversation without the consent of anyone involved using third-party software, it's not okay with them, but it is out of their hands, making this part of their privacy policy the digital equivalent of that bit in Life of Brian where he gets called a very naughty boy.
Now you listen here! He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy!
It's their legal way of saying, look, there are dickheads out there who might record your conversations and put them on the internet, so don't pretend that you're in a private secure chat room. That's the job of our marketing team. I mean, they don't mention this, but it is against the law to record people without their consent. But it is worth remembering, anything you upload to the internet lives there forever, and that does include your Snapchat dick pics. Problem 8. Deleting Clubhouse. Oh, don't go. We were just getting started. In order to delete your Clubhouse profile, you need to email this generic account and wait for them to respond. I don't want to get all doom and gloom on you here, but if your profile exposes you or puts you in harm's way, being able to delete it quickly and easily is a key security feature that shouldn't be a big deal for them. After all, they are deleting audio files all day long. You'd think deleting the odd profile here and there would be a pile of piss. Oh, and while we're at it, in order to get basic customer support, you need to first verify your email address. To get a simple answer, I'm having to jump through more hoops than a dog at Crufts. Problem 9. Is your data collected forever? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Can you repeat the question? I've done some digging because I'm fun at parties. Clubhouse are based in the Bay Area of San Francisco, which means they do need to comply with police if they make a request for data. Nowhere in their terms of service do they have a zero knowledge policy, meaning that no data is held on the user's side. So if you want your data deleted, you will have to convince Clubhouse that's a good idea. Oh, and they make it clear that for international users like myself, all my data will be moved to their servers in the US. So you're not even safe here in jolly old England. Problem 10. Here's their biggest problem. Facebook and Google have created a surveillance capitalism model which is not only default in the tech industry, but it's normalised to a large chunk of the population. As a result, Clubhouse have no incentive to create a new way of monetising their platform, and they'll probably follow in their footsteps. As a result, I'd imagine data is king, and they're going to mine us for all we're worth. The downside for Clubhouse is that technology doesn't currently exist to extract data efficiently from audio recordings. I've covered this topic extensively in my video, Is Your Phone Listening to You?, which is linked below. They could improve some of the features and privacy while they're in beta and have some level of control over the user base. Given their CEO and founder, Paul Davison, previously made apps like Highlight, which came under fire for continuously sharing people's location data, I get the impression he's going to want everything to be open and free, and not because he's some sort of gentle hippie. Part 11. Simon's final thought. Clubhouse is often billed as being able to listen or interact with a live podcast, but the beauty of podcasts is that they're just on your phone. They're an intimate experience between you and the show, where you can binge any interest that you have without your friends, family or exes finding out. If my podcasting app added a social feature, I'd either opt out or change the app I'm using. I'm not sure these two things should meet, like a horse and a Findus meat grinder. However, by creating a long-form platform where people can speak freely without edits with anyone around the world, Clubhouse does have a big opportunity. Personally, I'm fed up of walking on eggshells on some platforms, and I'm really fed up of the perfectly polished lives of people on Facebook and Instagram. This app could offer a genuine alternative where actual conversation and debates occur. Will it? Well, based on their attitudes towards privacy and content moderation, I'm yet to be convinced. Currently, all the major players are trying to muscle in on this space. Like that bit in Jurassic Park, where all the tiny dinosaurs are trying to eat that man, or in this case Clubhouse, alive. Can Clubhouse survive? I don't know, but right now they have a big opportunity to be able to solve their trust and privacy issues a lot quicker and easier than some of the big players. By doing this, they could get a competitive advantage over Facebook or Google, who time and time again have punched holes in their public trust, to the point that now they're holier than the Pope. No, wait, I've got it. Their privacy policy has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed that. If you liked it, like it, and don't forget to subscribe as I make one new comedy deep dive every single week. Why not also join my shiny new subreddit, where we talk about data, privacy, and the worst flats on the internet. There's a link for that downstairs in the description as well. If you'd like to watch another comedy deep dive from me into a data or privacy issue, you can find a suggestion here. Or if you'd like to watch something a little bit more light-hearted, but still funny, you can find a suggestion here. Thanks so much for any and all support. Godspeed, and I'll see you all next Sunday.